Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about something I haven't talked about on this channel before, and that's how to clean your cube out. And this is a cube that I have. It's actually a pretty small cube. This is the size of a normal cube, so it's a 50 millimeter. It's the YJ Z Long M, and I actually lost a piece of it, like, I don't know, a year ago. Actually, probably longer ago than that. And I made a video about how I lost the piece. I'll link it up above. I found that piece since then, and which is awesome. Now I have a cube that I can use, but over time the lube inside has kind of dried up. It's gotten pretty dirty, and it doesn't feel too great. So today I'm going to make a video talking about how to clean your cube, the ways to do it, and how you should set it up afterwards. So if you enjoyed the video, I encourage you to leave a like and subscribe. That'd be very helpful to my channel, and let's just get right into it. Now, if you haven't ever cleaned the outside of your cube, it's a really good idea to do that, because the outside can get really slick and slippery and just not be as easy to control. Like, your fingers can slip off of it. This isn't super common, but it does happen. And so what I like to do is I'll take a piece of a paper towel, so a piece about this big, and I used to use disinfectant wipes, but that didn't work as well as this. And just take some rubbing alcohol and put it on the paper towel. And all you have to do is just put some on each side, and it'll get rid of all grease, everything that makes it kind of slick, and just make it nice and completely fresh and clean, just bare plastic, which it feels really nice. It just takes a second to evaporate, or you can dry it off. But that's just the outside of the cube. What I really want to focus on in this video is cleaning the inside of your cube. So I'm going to take this cube apart. I mean, you don't have to take it apart. You can just kind of stick a Q-tip down in here and clean it. But it's better to take it apart, because then you can get all the little cracks and crevices that you wouldn't normally be able to get with a Q-tip. So I'm just going to disassemble this cube really quick. And this may or may not be the most fun part, but I think it's fun. So yeah, that was fun. Hopefully I didn't lose another piece like I did last time. So with the cube fully disassembled, I like to put all the pieces to the side, and I usually start with the core. I'll just take, you can take a wet paper towel and just dry off the pieces when you're done, but I think that rubbing alcohol is easier because you don't have to dry it off because it just evaporates. But just take a paper towel with some rubbing alcohol, and the higher the percent, the better. I have 91%, which is like the highest you can get normally. There are like 50% ones that look like this. It works, but you have to dry it off because it doesn't really evaporate that well on its own. And then the most common is like a 70%. One thing I forgot to mention is that if you have one of these pre-packaged alcohol wipes, you can use one of these. Although I'd still recommend a paper towel, as it's more absorbent and bigger than these little wipes. But if you have one of these, you can use it. Just to answer your curiosity, if you're wondering why I have multiple bottles of rubbing alcohol, it's for cleaning game consoles, because in the console repair business, you use rubbing alcohol a lot, and so yeah, that's just why I have so many bottles of it, and different percents do different things. So anyways, back to what I was talking about. Just take a paper towel with a fair amount of rubbing alcohol in it, not a lot, and then just wipe off these pieces. You don't have to do a lot to get it off, just make sure they're clean, there's no old lube on them, no dust or dirt or anything. It's good to get like underneath in here, and this is where you can use a Q-tip for little cracks and things you wouldn't normally be able to reach. Just kind of go under there, wipe off any dirt. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as you get a majority of it, it's good. For pieces, this is good to kind of put in the grooves where a paper towel normally wouldn't get that good of cleaning in there. But you don't have to do it this thorough. I just like to do it thorough because I don't like having a little bit of dirt in my cube. But really, if you just wipe off the pieces with a paper towel, you should be fine, like if you just get most of it. But yeah, you just kind of wipe off the pieces, and that's really about it. Another thing I want to mention is when I clean pieces, I like to separate them into edges and corners. That way I'll be able to put the cube back together easier and know where the pieces are. So let's get started with the time lapse while I clean these pieces off. Okay, so that took about 3 minutes, which isn't too bad. So I have my corners here and my edges. Now all I have to do is a standard assembly. If you don't know how to assemble a cube, it's pretty simple. You just put an edge. You start by putting an edge in between two centers like this. Then you find the edge that goes here. And I would recommend assembling it solved, otherwise you're going to get some kind of like corner twist or edge flip or something, which is, I mean, you could just take that piece out and fix it, but I just prefer to assemble it solved. So, and as you can see, I'm already missing a piece here, so I'm gonna find that piece really quick. It was just sitting on the floor. Yep. Alright, this piece is clean, so I'll let it evaporate really quick. The alcohol evaporates so fast, like 10 seconds or less. I think it's pretty much evaporated already, so put that in. So you get two edges like this. Find the corner that goes there, so in that case it would be this one. And then you just kind of build up from there. So am I missing? Oh no, I'm not missing a piece. I was scared for a second. And yeah, you just kind of keep putting them in the spots until you get to the last layer. So let's say I'd want to put my red and blue piece here. It's pretty simple. You just keep building off of that. I think my record, I've timed myself doing this before, and my record was like just over a minute, but I hadn't practiced or anything, so I could probably get better than that now. Maybe I should do a video about that, timing myself to see how fast I can disassemble and reassemble cubes. Maybe I should do that video. I feel like that would be kind of interesting. Okay, so when you get to your last layer, what you do is you just pull up on the center cap and pop in one of the edges. It's a little bit more difficult. The looser your cube is, the easier it'll be to take apart and put back together. So if your cube isn't coming apart, then I would recommend unscrewing these screws on the inside. And if you have a Rubik's brand, I wouldn't even bother taking it apart, honestly, because you're not going to get it back together very easily. Okay, so yeah, you just keep putting the pieces in like this. It's pretty straightforward. It takes a little bit of practice to be able to do it quickly, but it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so the cube is now reassembled, and when you start turning it, it's going to feel really dry. And that's expected because you just cleaned out all the lube and any kind of grease that is making it turn better. And so that's when we move our cleaning supplies out of the way and we pull out our lube. Now these two lubes I've had for a long time. I mean, they're good. You can just mix them and get basically anything you want, but this is a faster lube. This is like a smoother, slightly slower lube. And this cube it's a pretty fast cube. It's kind of hard to control. So I think I'm gonna mostly go with the silk, probably not any or just not very much of the jack-o'-lantern. I'll just start by putting some silk in. Now it's better to do this with a piece taken out. You don't have to take a piece out, but it allows you to get into the grooves better. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna put some in there. Probably gonna do both sides just to help it mix better. And then you can just kind of lube around here. I wouldn't recommend lubing like the very corner because then the lube is going to get outside the cube and stay like that, but I just do that. I don't usually take a piece out unless if I had just cleaned out the cube, then I usually will. But once you start to turn it, yeah, you'll feel the lube work in a little bit. And now I'm just scrambling the cube up, but there's definitely some lube in there. I'm probably going to put in a little more just to help it feel a little better because I didn't put in a lot. I'll do the same thing with another piece. Oh, and there goes my corner. I'm not going to know which way that goes in because it's scrambled. Oh well. Just get some more lube in there. Pop it back in. Oh, and since this cube is so loose, I'll just pop the corner in because it's loose enough to do that. Normally you wouldn't be able to. Okay, so now starting to feel that lube a lot more. It feels pretty smooth, pretty nice, actually. So once you're done lubing your cube, you're immediately going to feel lube on the outside. That always happens. You either get it on your hands or it just always gets out of the cube somehow. And I might have over-lubed it a little bit, but I think it's okay. If you ever over-lube it, you can just stick a Q-tip in there, dry out a few pieces, and scramble it, and it should be fine. Just keep doing that until It feels right. I think it's okay though. But so what I would recommend doing when you get lube on the outside of your cube is I would just do a couple solves on it, maybe one solve. So I'll solve it really quick. And this is going to be sped up. I'm not like a super fast speed cuber or anything, but I can solve it in like 20 seconds. Alright, so it's solved. I'd say it's probably fine to clean it now, although I normally recommend doing at least 2 solves, but I'm just going to do one for video purposes. Just take a rubbing alcohol and a paper towel like I did before. Do the same thing. You can dry off the alcohol if you want to. It will make it a little bit cleaner, but it's not necessary. And your hands will also have lube on them, so I would recommend washing them if you don't want to get the lube back on your cube, or you can just take the alcohol wipe and wipe off your hands. Once you get all the sides of the cube, all the edges of it, it should be completely clean, so we'll just give that a second to let it evaporate. And my hands don't really have lube on them now, and yep, that feels pretty nice. Pretty clean on the outside, nice and lubed, no longer sluggish and dry feeling, so it feels a lot better. So yeah, that's about all there is to it. I mean, I kind of gave you all the details, but I hope you enjoyed the video, and if this helps, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.